Warm greetings from TwinTech Academy, Chennai, and we also like to greet you all for the Happy New Year and Happy Pongal. On behalf of TwinTech Healthcare Academy and our directors and all the members of our academy, we like to welcome all the participants, all the senior healthcare professionals who joined for this course today, and the eminent healthcare legal expert Dr. Samuel Abraham sir for accepting our TwinTech invitation and to present this course over 5 Saturdays, and each Saturday 1 hour, that is 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for this certificate course in legal aspect of healthcare. I request our senior professor R. Ramakrishnan to introduce our speaker Mr. Samuel Abraham for the program today. One small announcement. I kindly request all the participants to unmute yourself, mute yourself, and need your support for entire program today. During question and answer session, you will unmute yourself and ask questions or type your question in the chat box. Thank you. Over to Professor Ramakrishnan.
Good evening, Mahalingam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay. Good evening, Mahalingam, and thank you so much for the privilege and pleasure you have given me in introducing a great stalwart in the legal aspects, particularly of hospital management. I am happy to introduce the speaker who is going to be with us for the next 5 Saturdays starting today and expose all the participants to the legal aspects involved in the most important sector of healthcare management. Mr. Samuel Abraham is a senior advocate and legal consultant, and he has been a consultant with the most prestigious Christian Medical College at Vellore for a long time. If you look at his academic credentials, he has a vast range of subjects like economics, business administration, law, and labor management. He has been bringing along the board a very vast experience, both at middle and senior levels, in across a board of industries, both in government and private enterprises. The field include that he has handled such as rural development, automobile sector, essential service delivery, and education. He brings on board a distinct advantage in terms of his vast experience and practical knowledge and wisdom. He has been a very strong advocate of a champion of vociferous supporter of consumer protection, especially in the healthcare domain and in the sector as a whole. He has been authoring many articles that have found a place in several prestigious journals on these issues. He is an expert, very well acknowledged so, in the field of hospital management, legal aspects. The TwinTech is very happy that he accepted our invitation to conduct a short-term course spread over 5 Saturdays starting today. He continues to give regular lectures in prestigious medical institutions and also at business schools covering corporate, labor laws, etc. That is a profile for you of Mr. Samuel Abraham. Thank you so much for this kind opportunity, Mahalingam. Over to Dr. Samuel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor Ramakrishnan. And these are our today participants list. Nearly about 30-35 members are attending today. All are very senior healthcare professional. We welcome once again for all of them to our program. Over to the speaker, Dr. Samuel Abraham, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for Mr. Mahalingam and Dr. Ramakrishnan for giving an introduction about me. I'm so happy to be a resource person today. To all the participants who are very much interested in the subject. I have been teaching this subject for so many years, but now the new act I am going to talk about is 2019. I will have a brief about what are the subjects, what are the area I am going to cover. First, I am going to have an introduction. Second, I am going to talk about the old act, 1986. Consumer Protection Act 1986, few provisions I will give, then only you can understand and appreciate the new act. Then what are the provisions in the new act? What are the special features? Then we are going to discuss about in what way it is very helpful to the hospitals and management, whether it is very helpful or it is adverse effect, which we are going to discuss. Then finally, what are the areas we have to take precautions to avoid litigations? With that, we are going to conclude that. So, first of all, I will give 5 minutes about I will introduce the subject so that it will have a basic understanding. Then you can easily understand the subsequent lectures. Now, to begin with, in ancient days, there was
sir,
there was
your voice can be little louder, please.
Okay. I can increase. I think it will have some improvement.
Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir, carry on.
Is it okay? Okay. Now there was barter system. So one A will bring some goods to a B, and B will see that goods very clearly, and he can purchase that. So exchange system. So there is no marketing, no canvassing, no attractive advertisements, etc. Now over the periods, we developed a very systematic mercantile law and advertisement packing system in such a way consumers were sometimes duped and deceived. And there are millions of consumers, but the manufacturers, suppliers are well organized, well professionalized. So consumers were generally duped. So over the period, the consumers were paid more money to a goods and service when compared to the exact cost of that product. So cost will be very less. With the effective advertisement, they were able to sell a higher price to the consumers. And the United Nations organization felt that it is better to advise all the developing countries about this, because many of the money from the consumers are coming into the few hands of the manufacturers. I'm talking about generally, then we will come to the hospital, etc. Now, what happened then? Every country, they have enacted laws, and India, our parliament in its own wisdom, enacted a law which we call Consumer Protection Act 1986. It was notified in 87. Any act which is notified in the official gazette, it can be implemented. So in 1987, the Consumer Protection Act was notified and implemented. Now, this is actually a special law. Normally, general law is there, special law is there. What is the significance about this special law? Special law and the general law. When there is a question arises, the court will decide about the special law only, not the general law. Suppose Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, so we all general law. But when Dowry Harassment Act is coming, it is a special law enacted only for that purpose. Now, Consumer Protection Act is also a special law, which is a protection or a beneficial piece of legislation to the consumers. Roughly, in the language of lawyers, the consumer court, labor court, and tribunal court, this we call tribunals. When a law makes or constitutes a court, it cannot be a 100% court. Normally, a civil court and criminal court, Supreme Court, High Court, etc., they are all constitutional courts. When an act is enacted to create a court, it cannot be 100% court. It is only meant for enforcing a few provisions in a law, so which we call tribunal. So Consumer Protection Act is a tribunal. Namely, tribunal is be less powerful when compared to a regular court. Why? Tribunals are having restrictions, they are having limitations, they don't have inherent powers with them. Whatever the law, the enactment says, it will discharge. More so, the constitution of a tribunal, the proceedings of the tribunal will be in a give and take policy. So they are not strictly following the civil procedure code. Therefore, it will be a tribunal 50% judicial, 50% non-judicial. So in 1986, 3 tribunals were created. One we call District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum, another one State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, third one National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission in Delhi. Quickly I will review this one, then we will have a comparison very easily. District Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission will have 3 members and they are having pecuniary jurisdiction. The meaning of pecuniary jurisdiction is what is the amount in which they can entertain the complaint, which we call pecuniary jurisdiction. Up to 20 lakhs complaint from the consumers, up to 20 lakhs, the district consumer can go and investigate and settle. Now, more than 20 lakhs, they have to send all the complaint to the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission in every state capital. So district consumer up to 20 lakhs, 3 members. Among the 3 members, one must be judicial member up to the district judge. Another one must be a woman. So from among the 3, there must be a woman in the consumer forum. So the other 2 members are ordinary graduates with good character and conduct. So there must be more than 35 years. This is District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum. So any complaint, any consumer can approach this forum. And here, gentlemen, you have to understand one important thing in India. If I want to recover 20 lakhs through a civil court, listen to me very carefully, civil court, I have to file a suit for recovery of money, which we call money suit. For money suit, I have to pay a fee because up to 7% I have to pay a fee to the court. Then only I can file a suit. Normally, it's a money suit. According to the value of money I am claiming, I have to pay stamp paper for that. If I am able to win the case, I can recover this money from the other party. This we call suit. But gentlemen, because this is a tribunal, there's no fees for that. No stamp duty. A very simple 2,000 rupees or 200 rupees fees will be fixed by the government, and any complainant can pay these 400 rupees or 500 rupees and file his complaint before the District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum. Now you understand the difference between a civil court and the tribunal. Tribunal, there is no stamp duty according to the value. So every people will be encouraged because it is consumer supported enactment. So normally any people can go and file a complaint whether it is genuine or not. Because it is a limited fee. For example, I am telling up to 5 lakhs. If he is a below poverty line, no fee. If an ordinary citizen, he has to pay 200 rupees in Tamil Nadu. More than 5 lakhs, up to 10 lakhs, it is only 400 rupees. More than up to 20 lakhs, only 500 rupees. So any person who is aggrieved with the service condition of any person can file this one. Now, if both the parties are not happy with the award, which we call award, not judgment, award given by the District Consumer Forum, he can go for an appeal to the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, which is constituted and functioning in every state capital of India. Now, within 30 days, they have to file an appeal. for filing an appeal, listen to me very carefully, they have to pay only up to 25,000. Suppose my hospital, we got an award of compensation to be paid for 5 lakhs to a patient. I have to pay only 25,000, get a receipt and file an appeal before the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission in Chennai. This is the same way, same procedure in every state. Now, within 30 days, I have to file it. If I am delaying, I can have some petition for condonation. Now, second, State Consumer Dispute Redressal. More than 20 lakhs up to 1 crore, any consumer can go and file a complaint before the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, which is functioning every state. 3 members. The judicial member is equivalent to the High Court judge. The pecuniary jurisdiction 20 lakhs to 1 crore. Now, if I am agreed with the award given by the State Commission, I can go to the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, Delhi. So, plus, if I have to file a complaint more than 1 crore, directly I have to go to the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, Delhi, and file it. Now, this is the provisions of the old act. In the National Commission, my dear participants, we are having 5 members, not 3, 5. They can constitute benches. So cases will be filed, and every bench will look into each case there according to the merit. Plus, they can also receive appeal from the State Commission. Suppose I am aggrieved from the State Commission award, I can go to the National Commission. If I am not satisfied with the National Commission, I can go to appeal to the Supreme Court. Within 30 days, I have to file an appeal before the Supreme Court of India. There is no other appeal provision, etc. This is the old act I am talking. Now, I am going to talk about the new provisions in the new act. Now, there are pros and cons. There were so many adverse things, both for the management and for the consumers. So, new provisions were added in the new Consumer Protection Act 2019. So, you can understand, normally more than, there is a practice, 20 years plus 20 years, 40, after 40 years of experience, the Parliament, its own wisdom, brought the new Consumer Protection Act 2019. When it was brought, from the medical fraternity, there were so many representations that medical services should not be included in the new act for the jurisdiction of the consumer forums. I repeat, at the time there was an incident in Calcutta. So all the members of the Indian Medical Association, they joined, they met the minister, etc., etc. They gave a representation. In the new act, please don't include the medical services offered to a patient, so that the hospitals and the doctors need not be harassed by the provisions of the Consumer Protection Act. That was a representation given, and there were some assurance, etc. Now we will go and see the new provisions in the new act. It's very easy to understand because I have explained about the old act. Even if you are not able to understand, you can write to me, I will clarify. Now, in the new act, first of all, jurisdiction wise, they revised very, very vastly. From the 20 lakhs jurisdiction, they raised to 1 crore in the District Consumer Dispute Redressal. Now it is not forum, it become commission. Commission means it's having more powers. So up to 1 crore, gentlemen, any person who is aggrieved with the services of a manufacturer, seller, etc., or services, they can go and file a complaint before the district level forum itself. Now, so far people were going normally, if it is more than 20 lakhs, they will go for State Commission, or appeal, they have to go to the State Commission. Now it has been avoided. Up to 1 crore, any consumer can go and file a complaint in the district forum itself in their own district. It's a new provision. Secondly, the forum became a commission. They are having wide powers. We are going to discuss it now. Secondly, the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission So far it has pecuniary jurisdiction up to 1 crore. Now it has been increased to 10 crores. So up to 10 crores, any person who is aggrieved can go and file a complaint before the state commission in their own state. And the National Consumer Dispute Resolution Commission is having jurisdiction more than 10 crores only. Now, practically, when I am practicing law and I am attending the consumer cases in National Commission, it will be very, very interesting to note that if the hearing is today fixed, we will go there to Delhi, stay there 2 or 3 days, and appear before the National Commission, and immediately an adjournment will be given. You will be shocked. It will be given 2021 June or July. Minimum more than 6 months time will be given for a new adjournment. So this was the fact of the day. So this was the happening. So you can understand the hospitals or the service providers, when they are attending the National Commission, what will be the money, manpower, expenses, etc. Now it has been reduced in your own state up to 10 crore. You can go and attend that. So easily, yeah, there is a new provision which avoid that. The second provision which is avoiding, which is very helpful, is the state commission. The state commission, previously it has only 3 members. Now it has been given 5 members, helping to dispose the cases quickly. They will form benches, and I think more cases will be coming, will be anticipated, because the jurisdiction is more. So they want to have more benches to dispose the cases. So a chairman and minimum 4 members will be there in the state commission. So it will be disposed easily. Third is in the National Commission also, the same 5 members will be there. A woman was a must there in the old act. Now the new act is very silent now. Perhaps, it may be my presumption, many women members are ready and they are also participating now. So no reservation may be required now. Automatically in the merit case, women will be there, and that's why they might have left it. The qualification, the experience, etc. will be fixed by the central government. The third important factor is that will be very practical for us. You must understand that is, so now at present, suppose I am aggrieved, I am filing a complaint before the District Consumer Dispute Resolution Forum, and suppose 10 lakhs is awarded against me, I am an hospital, I can go to the state commission, file an appeal. There also, according to me, justice is not done, I can go to the National Consumer Dispute Resolution Commission. Gentlemen, now that provision has been cut off. Only one single appeal is permissible. That is somewhat against the employers, against the service providers, and against the manufacturers. Again, I will repeat, in our language, no second appeal is permitted. Namely, if a consumer is filing a complaint before the state commission for 5 crores, suppose 5 crores in the state commission, and the state commission is giving an order, against that order I can go for National Commission. But if there is an appeal filed before the state commission against the orders of the district commission, district forum, an appeal is decided by the state commission against the order of the district forum, against that I cannot go to the National Commission. Again, I will repeat, the state commission is giving an order against the appeal of a complaint originally tried in the district forum. I am still aggrieved that the state commission has not decided properly. In the new act, I cannot go to the National Commission. The same way, if I am aggrieved with the order of the State Commission, I can file to the National Commission. That's all. But the appeal decided by the National Commission against the order of the State Commission, I cannot go to the Supreme Court, which we call normally no second appeal. Now, according to my opinion, it is not very good for the employer or the service provider or the manufacturers, because there were many second appeals before the Supreme Court and National Commission, which has turned down the whole award given by the State Commission and District Forum. But now that chance is being prohibited for the manufacturers and service providers in the new act. Very important third aspect is the time limit for filing an appeal is relaxed from 30 days to 45 days now in the new act. So it will be very beneficial for the consumers. Another very important aspect which may adversely affect the employers. I am talking about employers now. I am not talking about the hospital, because we are going to discuss about whether applicability of this act for the hospitals and doctors later. Now, employers, it is going to affect because so far, if a consumer, for example, from Calcutta is coming, taking treatment in CMC Vellore Hospital, and he is aggrieved with the services offered by the hospital, he has to file his complaint in Vellore district only, not where he is residing. Or if there is any branch for CMC Vellore in Calcutta, he can file it. In another situation, I will tell. A patient from Calcutta, he takes treatment in Delhi hospital. Subsequently, he comes to Apollo Chennai. And after taking treatment in Apollo Chennai, he understands that the treatment given by the hospital in Delhi is having deficiency of service. He has to file his consumer complaint in Delhi. Third situation. The same Calcutta man takes treatment in Delhi hospital and Apollo in Chennai. According to him, both were not giving proper treatment, standard care. He can choose to file his consumer complaint either in Calcutta or in Chennai. Or if Apollo is having a branch in Calcutta, he can file a complaint in Calcutta. This is the present situation. Now it has been kept in abeyance. In the new act, it says a complainant can file his complaint in his own district, irrespective of the fact whether the provider is in Tamil Nadu or Andhra or Karnataka or Maharashtra. Meaning, the manufacturer and the service provider has to engage a lawyer there itself. Maybe he will be from Mizoram or Assam. He might come to take treatment in Chennai. He can file his complaint in his own district, where we have to depute a lawyer or any other authorized representative to fight the case there itself, which may cost huge money, time for the employers. This is pro consumers, and it is definitely not in a positive way for the employers, which is a new act provided in the new provision provided in the new act. The next new thing in the new act is, at present, the consumer forum in a state, maybe district level and state level, they are being monitored, financed and controlled by the state government, state finance. Now we have changed that now. The new act says the consumer forum in the district will be monitored by the state commission, and the state commission will be monitored by the national commission. There's a link. Administratively, the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission will have full control over all the forums below. Administratively. So any complaint, any deficiency done within this, that these things, the forum or the state level, they can control, monitor, etc. So far, they were independent. They were not properly controlled only by the state government. You know that how many state governments are there. Every state government will have its own way, its own procedure, but it will be uniform now in the new act. Gentlemen, a new aspect is introduced in the Consumer Protection Act 2019. It's called Mediation Center. You may not be very familiar about the Mediation Center. Now, as per the Legal Services Act in India, whenever I am filing a suit or for recovery or filing a civil suit about the land, etc., anything civil, I can file it. Notice will be given to the opposite party. Suppose I want to recover 5 lakhs from A. I am filing the suit. Immediately notice will be given to the A. Next hearing, either A or myself can inform the civil court. This can be referred to Lok Adalat. Or normally all the civil suits or civil cases now are referred to Lok Adalat to see whether there is any possibility of resolving the dispute. You know, MCOP cases, road accident cases. In the road accident cases, it will be referred to the Lok Adalat. The complaint will be demanding 20 lakhs as compensation. The insurance company will be offering 10 lakhs. Then they will have a settlement, joint memo. Both are agreeing for 15 lakhs. Immediately it will be resolved. So you might have read in the newspaper, the Lok Adalat settlement is 20 crores total disbursement in a district. So all the civil cases now are being referred to Lok Adalat, where reasonable settlement is arrived in the presence of a judge, not as a capacity of a judgment, but having a settlement. They encourage a settlement in the amicable way, in the legal way, not Katta Panchayat. Katta Panchayat means somebody is forcing for a settlement. There will not be any forcing, but suppose this man, the Lok Adalat judge says, what are the injuries, how much he spent, how much time, etc. He will calculate his age, earning capacity, then he will say 15 lakhs is reasonable. Then insurance company will also come down from there 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs. So they will have a settlement. Normally, in any case, in any country, a settlement cannot be questioned by either party. Why? It is a settlement between two parties. They themselves have settled that in the presence of a judge. So the judge's seal is also there. It will be informed to the original suit. Suppose additional district judge, I have filed a suit. It will be referred to the Lok Adalat. The Lok Adalat is settled. Now the copy will be sent to the original bundle, and that judge who is sitting as a judge, he will say, according to the Lok Adalat order, this decree is passed. So immediately it is settled. So it's a forum for settlement, Lok Adalat. In the same way, gentlemen, in the new act, if a consumer is filing a complaint against an hospital or against a service provider, immediately it will be referred to a mediation center created by this act in every district. And they are examining the possibility whether after a few sittings they are able to have a result, so that it will be easy for the poor man to get justice. This is one of the new provisions. Now, the list is very big. Next provision, I am telling you. In the previous act, the manufacturers and normally the hospitals, if it is a health care, they are responsible, they are liable. In the new act, if there is a defective products, any products you can imagine, refrigerator, fridge, AC, whatever, what not, all included. If there is any defect, I am the seller in Coimbatore or Vellore or in Madurai or Chennai. I am not bothered. I don't have any liability as per the provisions of the earlier act. But in the new act says, no. The seller is liable, the marketing man is liable, manufacturer is liable, dealer is liable. Anybody who deals with the product collectively liable. Collectively means it can be recovered even from one of the parties. Normally, you can see a partnership firm which is having 3 partners had a loss of 10 lakhs and you are one of the partners. Now you cannot say, I am one of the partners of 3, I have to pay only 3 lakhs and all. No, it is collectively liable. You have to pay 10 lakhs if other people are not able to pay. You are signing a surety. Even the party who got loan is not able to pay or he is not paying, you have to pay the full amount. You cannot say he is having money and he is having property. First of all, you have to pay the full amount. Then you can recollect the money from the person for whom you signed the surety, which we call severally and collectively liable. Collectively means you have to be treated as a one man who got the money. The same way, here also, all these people joined together, collectively they are liable because you cannot escape. So far, I am a seller in Vellore. The product was manufactured in Rajasthan. Now this complaint is making a complaint about the defective products manufactured in Rajasthan. He has to sue a person in Rajasthan, which is very difficult. Now this man will sue me because I was a seller, retailer, any capacity, all the people are included. Gentlemen, feel very happy that to some extent, any is called endorsers. Endorse mean Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, our actors, all these people are canvassing some products. You know, Kohli or SMS, many products they are canvassing in the television. Now the new act includes the endorsers also liable to some extent. Why you are canvassing this product when it is having a deficiency of service? So the new act covers each and every people. The persons who is recommending a product in the TV show, you will also be responsible if there is any defective or deficiency of service. This is all new provisions in the new act. And last not the least, a very, very important provision which may affect the service providers and the manufacturers. So far, listen to me very careful. So far, if I have to file an appeal against the award we call award of compensation given by a district forum. As I told you, I have to deposit 25,000. In some cases, I have to deposit 30,000. Get a receipt and I can file an appeal. Now it has been enhanced to 50% of the awarded money I have to pay. Just imagine, this is just against the service providers. Suppose 10 lakhs is been awarded, instead of paying 25,000 in a district forum, now how much I have to pay? 5 lakhs I have to deposit, get a receipt and go for an appeal, which is just, it may affect many of the service providers because by any bias thinking, inadvertently, a forum can award huge money, maybe by emotion, but the forum is also having human beings. The judges are also human beings. A judge will be Not all sons and daughters of a judicial person. They will be a sons and daughters of a carpenter, fisherman, farmer, etc., etc. They will not have anything. They may, by emotion, give a higher award in the state commission or district commission or in the national commission. What will be the fate of the manufacturers? They have to pay 50% of the awarded money, get a receipt, then only they can go for appeal. So here, this may, according to my opinion, may affect the manufacturers and service providers to a great extent. Next, so far, e-commerce people like Flipkart, Amazon, etc., they were not included in the Consumer Forum and Consumer Act. Now all these people were included in the new act. The last one is, the law has created a central protection authority. This is very nice. Central protection authority, which will examine all the manufacturers, service providers, etc., and give suggestion to the central government. Plus, there is a execution forum led by a police person, DGP level, to investigate and find out who are the manufacturers who are having products which are very, very defective, etc., which is having an investigation wing, and they can prosecute and they can also give punishment for the manufacturer who is having adulterated products or goods which are very inferior quality imported from another country. The offenses and penalties are so many in the new act which were not there in the old act. In the old act, only very, very small penalty. But here, punishment for false and misleading advertisement, penalty for non-compliance of direction of central authority, including imprisonment. First time, provision for fine and imprisonment has been made in the act. Punishment for manufacturing, sale and storing, selling, distributing or importing products containing adulterate products. Punishment for manufacturing, for sale or for storing or selling or distributing, importing spurious goods in India. So these are all new provisions in the new act. Now, very important aspect I am going to cover now. Is medical practice exempted from Consumer Protection Act 2019? For that, I have to give a small history of what happened earlier. Gentlemen, listen to me very carefully. In 1986 Act, notified in 1987, there were no provision about medical healthcare provisions or healthcare sectors to be included in the Consumer Act. There's no single provision which says the treatment given to a patient or the service offered by an hospital or by a doctor will be included in the Consumer Protection Act 1986. No single word were there. You can check. The internet, it is all available. If you put Consumer Protection Act 1986, it will give all the provisions. Carefully, if you are seeing one provision which says services offered, listen to me very carefully, services offered by the manufacturers or service providers under contract or by a law. If it is deficient, they can make a complaint. This is a common provision. And for your information, up to between 1986 to 1995, no Consumer Forum took number or admitted any complaint made against any hospital or doctors. There were some litigations, but courts were divided into two. Some court says it can be recovered from the hospital, it can be entertained. Some court says no, medical services are not included. So there is a contradiction between the judiciary. Some High Court says it can be admitted. Some High Court says no, Consumer Forum cannot go into the medical services. That was the in 1995. in 1995, Medical Association of India versus VP Shanta case. It's a historical case where effective arguments were given by the advocates nominated by the Medical Association of India against VP Shanta, but it failed in the Supreme Court. You must understand why it failed. The Supreme Court has not given any injustice, but it says ordinarily in the walks of life, in every country there is a principles of contract. Listen to me very carefully. Principles of contract, which we call quid pro non. That means A gives something to B, and B in turn reciprocates something to A. A gives some service to B, and B in turn gives consideration. That means money or anything. Consideration means it includes everything. B pays consideration to A, which forms we call contract. It's called principles of contract. Now, there is a Basmati merchant in Punjab. I order for 500 bags of Basmati for Ramzan. Time is given, quality is given, rate is given, cost is given, transport is given, insurance, all are specified. Time is the essence of a contract. Before Bakrid or Ramzan, I want the rice in Vellore. I gave an order. It was accepted by him. He sent the rice. I received it and I sold it. I got the money. I will not send the money to him back. He made his obligation. He fulfilled his obligation, but I have not fulfilled my obligation. Breach of contract. Automatically, I have to pay compensation, interest, damage, etc. to the Punjab man. Or in other words, I paid the money, all specified. He sent the rice after 15 days or 20 days. I cannot sell the rice. Infringement of contractual obligations between two parties. So, if there is a quid pro non, then automatically the affected person should be compensated. This is the principle of contract executed and valid all over the world. The name of the act will be different. In our, we call Indian Contract Act. Maybe England, it will be different name. In America, different name. But principles of contract is same. The Supreme Court says, sir, when you are giving services to a patient with standard care, with all specifications, then when you are giving a bill for that, this man is paying the money. It's a contract. And if he is able to pay the money correctly, whatever you demanded, he requires a standard care from the hospital. Okay, then we ask, what is standard care? Standard care is the care which the patient has received in some other hospital for the same type of disease for which you gave treatment. Standard care is the care, for layman's language I am telling, is the care where a patient might have received in some other hospital for the same discomfort or disease. That care you have to pay, give him, not the more sophisticated care, not so specialized care, but the ordinary prudent doctor can give and hospital care you have to give. So standard care is a care which is being offered in your area, in your location, compared to other people. It should not fall down below the range of standard care. This is all. So the court says we are not going to give award if you are giving a standard care. Now the Supreme Court says when he is able to pay the money to you, it's a contract. In the same way, when he is not paying any money to the hospital, now he cannot come under the purview of Consumer Protection Act. Suppose I am a patient, I am going to a government hospital where everything is free. They may charge 1 or 2 rupees for fees, but there is no medical bill. And they are giving treatment. I am aggrieved. Where I have to go? I have to go to the civil court. Under the law of tort, T-O-R-T, not law of contract. The Supreme Court says whenever there is a payment there, A gives something to B and B reciprocate, it's a contract. Where that's why after 1995, all the medical services, etc., came under the purview of Consumer Protection Act, my dear friends. And the same is even the new act, it is silent about the medical services to be offered by the hospital and doctors. But unless there is a review in the Supreme Court, or unless there is a new provisions added to the new act by the parliament, accepting that specifically, then we are very satisfied. When we are very satisfied. But the moment it is not there, in my opinion, same thing happened in 1986 also. No, not even a whisper was made about the medical services in the 1986 Act, but it was because of the operation of law given by the Supreme Court of India. Gentlemen, there are some judgments. If a judgment is given under Article 141 and 142 of the Indian Constitution by the Supreme Court, it will be deemed as though it is an enactment passed by the Parliament. You know, Visaga case. You know, Common Cause versus the Union of India. There are many judgments which were given under the Article 141 and 142. That means it is equivalent to the enactment of Parliament. All these have to obey. There is Visaga case where an employer has to constitute a committee. It was in 1999 case. Up to 2013, Visaga committee was there to protect the interest of the women employees in an organization. And Protection of Women in Workplace Act 2013 replaced that judgment. That means once a judgment is given in 1995 in Medical Association of India versus VP Shanta case, it is still being followed. It is current. It is enforceable according to me, because the new act, it is silent about the inclusion or the exclusion. So status quo, what we have been following, same thing, no difference. So my recommendation is the Parliament has to bring a new amendment to the new act, exempting the services given by the doctors or the hospitals. Then only we will have a sigh of relief. Otherwise, it is always expected that the same thing will be followed. Now, gentlemen, having this, I am not a pessimistic man. I am very optimistic. What is the, how to do, what we have to do? There is a solution. I am going to have a talk about another session about the protection given to the doctors. I will make a detailed study that will be very beneficial to you. Now, I am going to suggest new thing which we call, already discussed, Bolam test. I am having a time. Yeah, quickly I will do it. 3 tests have been given for the medical fraternity to avoid litigation. If you are following that simple test, you can stand before any court of law. Number 1, before entertaining a patient, you have to convince yourself, or if you are a hospital warder, you have to convince yourself whether this type of patient can be entertained in our hospital or not, because it is called duly qualified test, whether I am competent or not. The competence also depends upon the location. Suppose I am in Mahunda Hospital in Assam. In the surroundings, no hospital exists. I am an ordinary MBBS doctor. A pregnant lady, advanced pregnant lady is coming. I cannot refer her to some other hospital because, you know, it is a thick forest where there is no hospital is in sight. As an MBBS doctor, available man, I have to deal with the patient. There, my educational qualification, competence is enough to satisfy the court. But I am an MBBS doctor in Chennai or Calcutta, Delhi or Maharashtra or Bombay. An advanced pregnancy lady came and she says, I want to take treatment in your hospital. I am the ultimate man. As per the law, I should not take her because according to me, I am not duly qualified. I am not having any experience in OG cases. It's called duly qualified test. I have to pass. So you can apply yourself. The thing is, you should be competent. You should convince yourself that you are qualified and competent. That's all. Nobody to dictate terms to you. Nobody to, but you have to convince yourself. If you are in Thiruvananthapuram, there are so many hospitals are there. Everywhere there are specialists are there. So as a MBBS man, I have to refer this to some other. It's called first test, duly qualified test. Quickly I will tell the second test. Time is pressurizing. The second test is having 3 points. One, whatever procedure I am following the doctors, I have to write it in the medical records. And whatever I am writing in the medical records should be communicated to the patient. Second test, I have to have a proper consent from the patient. Proper consent, a very detailed thing. I will give another lecture about that. So proper consent should be obtained. 3, within that 3 points, whatever you are giving, whatever suggestion you are giving, you have to make it in the medical records. And whatever the negligence committed by the consumer or patient, it should be written, which are not being followed nowadays. Suppose you are giving medicine, the patient is not taking the medicine properly. After 5 medicines, he is taking only 2 or 3. That should be written in the medical records, which will go against the patient. This is called due care test. Due care test is having 3. One, consent, proper consent, communication, and you have to write whatever the patient you are giving to the patient should be written. Third, 3 tests. Third, you have to choose to give a treatment to the patient which is being followed by a peer group in your location at that relevant time. 2 things. In the location and relevant time. I am a doctor, worked in Nigeria for 15 years. I am returning back to Chennai. I cannot practice what I practice in Nigeria or South Africa or America or in European countries. No. This person's, our physics is different. What is being followed in Chennai or Calcutta or Delhi, in our area, I have to choose any one of the procedures being followed in any of the locations I can follow. If there is 3 procedures, I can select any one of the procedures. That's okay. But it should be from among our location. Point number 2, what was practiced in 2010 in Chennai? I am in Chennai. 2010, I should not follow in 2020. I am a Calcutta man. What was followed in 2011 or 12 or 15, I should never follow that procedure in 2020. I have to update my knowledge and update the procedures, latest procedure. I have to choose one of the procedures which is being practiced in 2020 or 19. I have to follow now. So time. Now, if you are following all these 3 tests properly, then you can stand before the court. The Polito test is also another test, very interesting. Is somewhat advanced test when compared to Bolam test. This is the latest one. Here, there was a young fellow, 2.5 age boy. He required some treatment, but he is not able to be put in the bed in the proper way. So, doctors thought, no, we cannot give him treatment because this fellow is going here and there, and he is very often he is coming fits is coming already. So 2 times it came, and they say no anesthesia, we cannot subdue this fellow, and after ultimately he died. A case was filed, and 9 doctors came to the witness box, and they say 5 informed the court, if we gave some anesthesia and controlled this fellow, we might have saved him. But we have not followed because this is not being followed by any doctors. So as per the Bolam test, we are within the 4 corners of law. But as per ethics side, we might have saved this fellow. This is Bolito test, which says even beyond your qualification, you have to use your common sense, best judgment to save a patient. It's all your. I think we have completed normally all the areas, ingredients about the new act, etc. If you are feel to have any doubts, you can write to me by email. You can write to Mr. Mahalingam also. I think Mahalingam is in the screen. He may talk in the conclusive way. Thank you, participants.
Thank you, Dr. Samuel Abraham, sir. And any questions from our participants, just we will take one or two questions. Then
Yeah.
if we have any further questions, we will discuss in the form of WhatsApp or email. Our faculty details are given in the system. You can note it
It is
down.
being displayed.
You can directly also you can call him and contact. And actually, what is a good quality of our faculty? He will respond any mail, any communication within 24 hours. So that is a good quality of our speaker and our good friend, our well-wisher. Any questions?
If it
One
is
or
a
two
call,
questions?
yeah, if it is a call, it will be later than 7 o'clock night,
Yeah.
not before that. We'll be going here and there. So after 7 o'clock, you can call me at any time till 9:30. Normally up to 10.
Any questions? One or two questions? Just you can mute yourself and ask the question.
Hello. Yeah, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, this is Gaurav Vishwakarma from Indore. Sir, actually, I just want to have a clarification that if a hospital is charging a service tax over the bill, so you have mentioned that healthcare and other medical services are not covered under the services caption in the new amended act. So if they are charging service tax in the bill, so what does it replicate? That is this necessary to have a service tax on the bill?
No, what was I am talking about is when you are filing a complaint before the consumer forum, you need not pay any stamp duty, because in the civil court you have to pay stamp duty according to the value of the claim. Suppose I gave 5 lakhs rupees to A and this fellow is not returning the money, I have to file a suit against him. At that time, I have to pay two things. One, stamp duty to the court. Second, a fee also paid to the state government. Then only my suit will be numbered. But in the consumer forum or any tribunal, only fee is charged, not the stamp duty. That's why people are encouraged to go and file complaints.
Thank you, sir.
It is
Thank you.
pro-consumer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you, Dr.
pro-consumer.
Gaurav. And if any further details, just you can write to him directly. He will.
No, sir.
respond.
Actually, my
Question.
okay.
Yeah.
My question was a little different, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, if hospital is charging a service tax on the bill of treatment,
Okay.
so what is that service tax? That means they are providing services, and if they are providing services, then it comes under the term service as per the Contract Act.
Okay. No, service tax is a tax levied by the parliament for a person who avails service in any organization. That is statutory, you have to pay it. It has nothing to, don't get confused in that.
But sir, hospitals do also charge service tax on the bills of the medical treatment.
According to the direction of the government. Am I correct?
Yeah, but then it should cover under the term service as per the Contract Act or the CPA Act.
That's why I'm telling. Now as on date, they are covered under the Consumer Protection Act.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yes.
you both.
Yeah,
And
that's it. Thank you,
any further questions, just write it to them. And even before next week,
Yeah,
next Saturday, we will take first 5 minutes any question and answer. And
I'm
then
very happy.
we can move the next session, the second module for the next Saturday. I request Mr. Ratinam, one of our senior most director of Trinity Academy, to give a vote of thanks for the session today.
You can also, sorry sir, you can also send your opinion about the lecture, etc. so that I can develop it.
And our faculty also willing to modify or flexible whatever the topic you are going to include, that also you can send the form of messages or email to us. We will consider.
Yes.
Ratnam
Thank you,
please
sir.
go ahead.
That's great.
Ratnam sir, நீங்க மீட் பண்ணிட்டு பேசுங்க.
Good evening. On behalf of Tintec Academy, it's my privilege to thank our healthcare legal expert, Dr. Samuel Abraham, for taking his time to educate all our participants today. Sir, it's been a great privilege for us to listen to you because you have shared a lot of experiences to all of us. And our special thanks to all participants for taking initiative to join this weekend course of Tintec Academy. Thanks to our Managing Director, Mr. Mahalingam, and Professor Ramakrishnan, sir, for your time and support. Thank you all. We hope to meet all weekends coming forward.